I got my fave little dino earrings in today for this special video. And by special, I mean my 10K Q&A. I have not done a Q&A since I hit 5K, so I figured we hit another milestone. Let's do another Q&A here. So thank you to everyone who sent in a question. I asked in my community tab on YouTube and also on my Instagram stories, and y'all came through. I got lots of questions to get into, so I want to keep this intro kind of short and sweet so that way we can just jump into like the good stuff. But I also just want to say at the beginning of this, I'm not very good at being like serious or like sentimental, even though like I really truly do feel it inside. Like I feel it inside of myself. I just have a hard time with like always expressing my emotions. But I do just want to preface this by saying that truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you to each and every single person who has ever watched, liked, commented, subscribed, shared, supported my channel in any way, shape, or form. I truly appreciate it more than I could ever express. When I first started making videos, I never expected that this would become what it is, and I did have a little bit of an imposter syndrome crisis when I hit 10K because I truly never thought that like my channel would get to this point and that it would mean so much to me at this point in my life. And it really is like just my favorite thing to do still. And I just love being a part of this community and having this channel here to just talk about my love of books. And I love creating and I love interacting and talking with you guys about books. Truly like booktube, like this channel has really like changed me and like changed my life in a way. And I know that sounds like dramatic, but like it really has. And it's made a huge difference in my life over the past few years. So sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you to anyone who has supported my channel. You don't ever come here for seriousness. So let's jump into the questions. So these are in no particular order. Okay, first question is, what do you do other than YouTube? Like where are you working / studying, and how do you manage to read so much with your day-to-day life? So I'm out of college, so I don't have to worry about school anymore, and I will literally never go back to school. I work as an admin assistant, and that's kind of all I get into in terms of like my day job, just because it doesn't really have anything to do with like this job. So yeah, I'm an admin assistant, but the way that I'm able to read so much in my day-to-day life, I don't really do a whole lot else. So here's the thing. So I work, but I have a pretty set schedule. So my days are pretty consistently done at the same exact time every single day. And I've really strived to be good about like when I'm done with work, I'm done with work. Like I'm mentally and like actually checked out of work. And that's when then I devote my time to reading. So in the evenings, I have a lot of time to read. I don't have anyone else living with me. Like I don't have a partner. I don't have kids. I mean, I have my 2 cat children, as you know, but it's like, I don't have, you know, like a partner that's like around here, like a boyfriend being like, hey, do you want to like do this? Do you want to like talk? No, you know, it's just me. So I have a lot of time in the evening just on my own to spend devoted to reading. And because I love it so much, instead in the evening, like I know a lot of people maybe like watch TV for like a couple hours in the evening. I do sometimes, but a lot of the times I'm just reading. I don't have a lot of other like responsibilities that I have to do outside of my day job. So reading is just how I choose to spend a lot of my time. And yeah, without like a husband or kids, my time is completely my time. So I can dictate how I use it, and that's just how I dedicate a lot of it to reading. Have you read the series of 50 Shades? So I have never read 50 Shades of Grey. I actually tried to last year, I think. I was actually going to do a reading vlog for it, and I just couldn't get through the first book. I adore the movies. They're like comfort movies. I rewatch them every single February. It's just the vibe. They're so fun. I don't care. You can hate on them all you want. I really enjoy them. However, I don't need to read the books. I have zero interest. I tried, and I will never read them. How did you learn to find your taste in books? Like what works for you? So I think that took a little bit when I first discovered romance, which I've talked about like how I got into reading romance with reading After, and then from there on kind of went. But I do think After was very big in shaping my romance taste in terms of like, I really liked the new adult setting and I really liked the toxic relationship. So I think that has definitely carried on. But I think it's just a lot of like trying books from different genres. I did a video recently of books that made me love romance. And in that video, I talked about some of the like first books that I read in different genres. So like The Unrequited by Saffron Kent was the first student teacher book I ever read. And I was like, oh, love this. So then from that book, I I just sought out more like that. My first dark romance, I think, was like Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. So obviously after I read that, I was like, I want more of this. So it's more of just trying books from various genres and kind of figuring out what you like and don't like. And that's how it worked for me. It was a lot of trial and error. And there were certain books that I read, like more like rom-com-y books that I read, and I was like, I don't really like this. So now, like, now that I'm like, what, 3-4 years into reading romance, I just know that I'm not going to pick up rom-coms. I don't like small town. I'm not going to pick up small town. But I know that I love like taboo books. So if I see something taboo, I'm going to pick it up. So it's really just trial and error and seeing what you read and what you love and just kind of like seeing what like piques your attention when you're reading and seeking out books that do that. Is there any language you want to learn? So I took 3 semesters of ASL in college and I loved that. I really loved doing sign language. We got to do like a lot of fun events of like going into like the deaf community and going to like community events that they had and like really immersing yourself, and I loved that. And I still understand a little bit of ASL, that was sloppy, but I do understand a little bit and can like, I have like basic communication skills in ASL, but I've kind of lost a lot of that. And as far as like spoken languages, I would love to, but like I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and I retained like almost 0 of that. And I don't think, I was not very good at that. Where like ASL, I think because of being such like a visual language, I really was like drawn to that. So if anything, I would like to like re-up on my ASL skills a little bit. Have you ever read any Penelope Sky books? No. Do I need to? Please advise. If you could give advice to a new booktuber, what would it be? I think it's hard to get started because I think there's just like a lot of unknown, like in terms of, so I still film on my phone. Like I don't have a camera. Like you don't need fancy equipment in order to do this. Like, trust me, I think like it's an iPhone 12. Use that. Use what you have. You do not need to invest in really expensive equipment and like microphone and lighting and all of this stuff just to start your channel. Like, yes, obviously the quality of your videos is important, but also like you yourself is kind of like the most important. So just get started. Like don't get bogged down in all of the like equipment. And the other thing is make sure that you really like the content that you're creating and that you like the books that you're talking about and find your niche. Don't worry, which is something that I've really had to like grapple with myself with. And even like in recent months, I've been feeling like, do I like belong? Like, I don't know. It's just tricky because I think there's a lot of pressure to stay like up to date on new releases and the really popular books. And I can't keep up with all of that. I can't read that fast to be staying up with all the popular releases. And I've had to kind of be like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like whatever you are passionate about reading, read that. Whatever videos you want to make, read that. Because people will be able to tell if you're genuinely enjoying what you're creating and if you're not. And like if you actually like the books you're talking about or if you're bullshitting. Like just be honest about what you think about the books. Like everyone has something to bring to the table. So just find what that is and roll with it. And don't let anyone like make you second guess what you like. Do you plan on doing a historical romance reading vlog? I've done one of these. I did it with Rachel from Rachel Reads and Sings. She gave me 3 historicals. I gave her 3 of my favorite taboos, and I really enjoyed doing that vlog, and I did really have a win in that vlog. However, I just like, I don't really care to like further dive into historicals. I did recently read another Joanna Shute book and I really enjoyed it, but that is just not really where like my mood reading is calling me. So there are so many amazing historical romance YouTubers. So I would just suggest going to them for that content because I will never say never, but I would say as of right now, probably not. If you had to leave your home in an emergency, what 5 books would you grab? This is freaking easy. I would grab my bound copy of Manacled that I got commissioned, last year? For surely grabbing that. That book is a masterpiece and I love it. And then probably, because here's the thing, a lot of the books that I have could be replaced. Would probably then have to be like special editions. So my Mystic Box copy of Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and probably my 3 Devil's Night series copies by Penelope Douglas that Mystic Box did. Those would probably be the 5 books, because a lot of my other ones could be replaced, or even some of my other special editions like I love, but like I could be fine without, but not my pen collection. 5 books that were a waste of your time and wish you hadn't read. Distorted by Nyla K. You know what? I did bring my reading journal here because I knew that some of these I would probably blank on like as I was talking, and I didn't want to like completely forget some things. Okay, A.R. Breck, I love Where the Mountains Meet the Sea. I love you for that book. But Bliss by A.R. Breck, I did not like that at all, and it was a waste of my time. Oh my god, the Bond series by Jay Bree, absolute waste of time. Did not like those. And I got 3 books in deep for that for a readathon, and that was such a waste of my time. I didn't like those. I have Genesis by Seven Rue. Absolutely hated that. Captive in the Dark by C.J. Roberts. I did not like that one. I think was that 5. I'd say like any 1-star, 2-star book is kind of like a waste of my time because I'm never gonna recommend it, and like I just don't care about it. Oh my god, wait, not in Wish You Hadn't Read R.I.P. by Charity B. How could I forget? This book, I wish I could erase it from my brain. I really, really do. Books that made you feel emotional or brought you to tears. There are so many, but some off the top of my head. Where the Mountains Meet the Sea by A.R. Breck. Chef's Kiss. Love it. Forbidden by Tabitha Zuzuma. Absolutely shredded me. Twist by Lucia Franco. And Dismount by Lucia Franco. Got me to tears. Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Brought me to tears. Underneath the Sycamore Tree by B. Celeste. Yeah. What do you find most healing / therapeutic about reading? There's honestly a lot that I find therapeutic and healing about reading. I think a big part of it, and so I started reading romance back in 2019, but I think especially when the pandemic hit and obviously everyone was just at home, that's when my reading really like picked up. That's when I got a Kindle and I like discovered KU, and truly in such like a scary time in our world, I found a lot of comfort and like escapism through books. And I think because like there wasn't any like social interaction being able to have like during day to day, that by the time when I was done with work, I still felt like really like wired up in my brain that I couldn't just sit there and focus on TV. Like my mind would not just let me like dive into, like I couldn't zero in on TV. I couldn't focus on it. And truly the only thing that stole and captured my attention was reading. And I just found such comfort in that. And it really, in like a very anxiety inducing time, did really help me during that. And also I just think even like day to day now, I just find such comfort in being able to turn off my mind of like my issues and reading about someone falling in love or escaping to other worlds or reading about all of these happily ever afters. Like truly that is therapeutic for me to be able to turn off my issues and read someone else's life, but have it also be fictional, you know, because like I don't want to read about like real problems. I just want to like bask in the fictional worlds that I read. What's something you hope to see change in the romance reading community? The shame around dark romance that still permeates. I don't really notice it as much on YouTube. I see it a lot on TikTok, which I am like really farly removed from book talk at this point, and I'm just like over that like fight that comes about like every month or so to like attack dark romance readers. Mind your business. That's my other thing. Just mind your business in general. Just leave everyone alone. Let people read what they want to read. You focus on your reading. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't affect your life how many books someone reads in a month or how little books someone reads in a month or how they choose to read their books. If it's audio, if it's Kindle, if it's paperback, how does that affect you? It doesn't. Mind your business. Let people read what they want to read, how they want to read it, how much they want to read of it. It literally doesn't affect you. Your life is going to be so much better when you are not concerned with what other people are doing. So that's the biggest change I would like to see. And the shame around like taboo and dark romance and like shaming people for reading that. Again, mind your business. How does it affect you? It's fictional. It's words on paper. They're actual issues for you to be upset about. Go be upset about them. Tips on how to grow on booktube and what you found worked well and didn't. I'd say one is, like I said earlier, find what you're really passionate about. People will be able to tell if you're just making content of what you think people want to see instead of content that you want to actually make. Don't try to just like copy what someone else is doing because you need to find what works for you. So really like find your niche and go with it. Be consistent. When I first started, I did like 1 a week uploads and I found that like I liked uploading on Wednesdays. Now I like doing 2 videos a week and I do Tuesdays and Fridays. Just find what works for you and be consistent with it. I know that's not always easy and always prioritize you and your mental health first, but if you can, be consistent with that. and just interact with channels, comment on people's videos. I think Instagram too really helps, like, to build relationships with people. So I think just like finding people in the community that you click with. I don't know if I found anything that like didn't work well. There are still to this day videos that I know when I'm filming them, when I'm like putting them up, that I know that are probably not going to perform as well as other videos. And I have to kind of stop getting in my head about that and just making the videos anyways, because if I want to make it, I want to like share it. But like I do just know in my head, like reading vlogs do not tend to do as well as some of my other videos. You know, I can always count on my TBRs or like my monthly wrap-ups doing pretty well. But some like certain niche romance recommendations are not going to do as well. And, you know, I don't know. I just think you kind of have to not care about that. And especially when you're just trying to like establish your channel as a whole, just truly focus on what you want to make, and your consistency and your like passion talking about it is going to be what helps you grow in the end. Now this one I love. Thank you to whoever submitted this. I'd love to know your ranking on the Real Housewives franchise. Also would love to know your favorite non-reality TV shows. Thank you so much for talking about Real Housewives. I am a Bravo hoe. So here's the thing though, I have not watched all the Real Housewives franchise. So the ones that I have watched are Salt Lake City, Beverly Hills, New York, OC, and I've seen some of New Jersey, and I'm currently watching Atlanta. So right now I'm really enjoying Atlanta a lot. But so I guess my ranking so far, I kind of got sick of Jersey. I'm on the one season with the twins and I just don't like them and I can't get through it. And I'm sick of like Teresa and Melissa and like that just being the only drama. So I put them so far at the bottom. Salt Lake City, amazing first season, amazing second season. They've completely lost me at this point. I'm putting Salt Lake City right above New Jersey at the bottom of the list. What else did I say about OC? It has some great seasons, but it also has some not so great seasons. So I'm going to put OC next. And then I'm going to put Beverly Hills. I love Beverly Hills, but again, recent seasons have not been it. And Lisa Vanderpump is my queen and she deserves to be avenged. And at the top is going to be New York City. I love New York City. Again, has some rough seasons. However, they deliver. Dorinda Medley, Bethany Frankel, like unmatched. Even Countess Luann, one of the most delusional people I've ever seen. So entertaining. So New York is forever my favorite at the top. So I think that's all of the ones that I've seen and said. And then some of my favorite non-reality TV shows: Euphoria, Scandal, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, Everybody Loves Raymond, Pretty Little Liars. Don't come at me. It's a comfort show. I'm loving Bridgerton. What else? Girls on HBO. Yeah, are those kind of like Friends? Obviously, I love Grey's Anatomy. I used to really enjoy. Now it's my sleep show. I really only like seasons like 1 through 8. What is a book from your childhood that made you fall in love with reading? Okay, it would probably be Inkheart. I don't even remember who that was by, but I loved Inkheart. I remember reading this in 3rd grade and like absolutely loved it. And then like when I got a little bit older in like middle school, it was definitely The Hunger Games for me. Was absolutely in love with that. If you had to pick another genre to read aside from romance, what would it be? And can you recommend a book from it? So probably like fantasy, but even I feel like is that kind of cheating because I pretty much only read like fantasy romance. But I still love like YA fantasy. I don't read it as much anymore because like I like the spice, but I'd say maybe like fantasy or like YA fantasy. And I'm thinking like one of my favorite YA fantasies is like the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. I think the later books, someone said the newest one, like Believe Me, was smutty. It was not. But I guess for like YA, like it's a little edgier. But I also love the Carve the Mark duology by Veronica Roth, and that's like a YA fantasy duology, or like kind of more sci-fi. If you had to pair up an FMC from one book, so a female main character from one book and a male main character from another book, who'd you pick and why? I love this question because here's the thing, I actually thought about this and I even said this on, so Cheyenne interviewed K.A. Tucker on her channel last year and she invited me to interview her with her, and I even said in that interview, I even told K.A. Tucker, so the brother from her, what's the series called? Like the Sweet Mercy series, the brother in that one of the hero, I think he would be amazing to be paired with, I think is her name Eden from the Wolf Hotel series. So both these series are from her, but the brother from the one series and then the best friend, like the older best friend that gets introduced, I'm pretty sure her name is Eden, but like has some amazing times in the 3rd and 4th book in Wolf Hotel. love to see them two interact. I would love to see her do like a little crossover of those two getting a book, because I think they would be explosive together. Would you rather never reread ACOTAR / Off Balance or never meet the love of your life? I don't know if this is going to come as a surprise, but I'd rather never reread ACOTAR or Off Balance again. I mean, I've read Off Balance 3 times. I've read ACOTAR 3 or 4 times. I think I can be good. I'd rather find the love of my life. If you'd like to enter, please and thank you. Hopefully you're not allergic to cats, because if you are, we won't be able to make it work. Who character you'd like to be? Oh, did I write this down wrong? I think maybe it's what character you'd like to be in your favorite book world. Here's the thing. Who would I like to be? Probably Ava from Twisted Love by Anna Huang, because I'd love to be married to Alex. Otherwise, like, I feel like, you know, it would be fun to be like Aelin from the Throne of Glass series, but also like not that fun. I'd maybe go for like a cozier life, you know? Ava's just taking her pictures. She's with her man. I think maybe I'd probably trade places with her. Dream vacation. I'd love to go on an African safari. That would be my absolute dream vacation. I'd love to see those animals in their natural habitat. I just think that would be literally incredible. What actors do you want to play Rhea and Kova if they ever did an adaptation of your favorite series? Here's the thing. I love seeing people fan cast people, but I am absolutely trash at that. I have like no vision of that in my head. Like, I can't picture anyone being them because no one would match up in my head. However, I guess I'd just say the cover models from those books, because I don't think I've ever seen people covers embody those characters as much as those two, and like how I genuinely pictured those two characters are the two people that model on the covers for them. I don't know if they can act. I don't know if they'd have any chemistry. I mean, they do have chemistry from those shoots. Are you joking? But I guess I'd probably just say the cover models. Favorite author / authors: QB Tyler, Penelope Douglas, Sarah J. Maas, Anna Huang. I'm trying to just think, Pam Godwin. I'm trying to just picture like who I have out on like my display shelves more. I'd say probably am I forgetting it? Oh my God, Lucia. Oh, Lucia, I'm so sorry. Lucia Franco. I feel like those my go-tos. The steamiest romance novel that you've loved. Well, like steamiest, I don't know, because like that's subjective. I would say Credence is not like obviously I've read books with more spice, but I feel like truly the steam of that book is incredible. Like, I feel like there's a difference between steam and spice, and I feel like that book maybe, yeah, it just hits different. Are you getting the new Birthday Girl edition or the Mindfuck edition? So the Birthday Girl special edition that Darkly, I think, I did end up pre-ordering it. Here's the thing. I don't love the cover art of it, but I love the naked hardback of it. And if there's one author that I truly am trying to collect every single edition of their books, it's Penn. So I ordered it because I knew that I would regret it if I didn't. And yeah, it's not my favorite. Like, I definitely prefer the Mystic Box art, but I had to order it. So yes, I did pre-order that. And Mystic Box is doing a special edition of the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey, and I 100% will be buying that. I am a Mystic Box subscriber, and I think subscribers get early access, but they are like saying that it'll be open to like public pre-order sale. So if you are not a Mystic Box subscriber and are interested in getting it, then I think you'll still have a chance too. So, and I will for sure be purchasing. I absolutely loved that series. So yes, we'll for sure be getting that. Top 3 book bans. Top 3, that's hard, but it's for sure gonna have to go to Kova from Off Balance, Connor Cobalt from the Calloway Sisters series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. And I feel like the third one's hard because there are so many amazing ones, and I'm going to be leaving someone out. But I'm just going to have to go with my gut, and I'm going to have to go with Alex Volkov from Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I love me. Oh my God, we know that I love Behind Reese. No, Reese. He's got to be there. Reese from ACOTAR. He's got to be there. 3 is really hard. That was rude. That was rude to do that to me. Do you think you'll ever get any more cats? So y'all know I have 2. I have my babies, Dorian and Aria, who are sitting in here right now. Dorian's right behind the camera on the cat tree sleeping, and Aria's over on my bed curled up sleeping. I mean, at least they're not running around playing like they sometimes are and making a lot of noise. But here's the thing. So I adopted them. They are a bonded pair. They're a brother and sister. They had another brother and sister, but like these two, like Dorian and Aria, were the clique. And I absolutely adore them. I love them more than my life itself. I would quite literally do anything and everything to protect them. And as long as they are provided for, I don't care that my needs are met. They are truly my children, and I don't plan to ever have human children. I believe it is my purpose in life to give as many kitties a loving and happy home as I can in my lifetime, and I am very happy to just be a cat mom forever and always. So yes, I would like to get more cats eventually. However, where I'm living, I do have a 2-pet limit, so obviously I've met that quota. And I do worry about ever adopting more cats, just with Dorian and Aria being such a clique and such like a duo, that I think I would almost have to get then another bonded pair, because I think if I just got one, like the two of them would just team up against this poor other cat that I would be trying to introduce into the dynamic. So I think I would have to get like another bonded pair. So then I would have 4 cats, which is like a lot, but also like people have 4 children, so I can have 4 cats. I think down the line I would love to, but I don't foresee that in like my near future. What are some of the best experiences you've had because of your booktube? I'd say like genuinely the friendships that I've formed on booktube, and then some of the like things that I've gotten to do because of that. So I'd say last year when some booktubers got together and went to Atlanta, I felt very like anxious going into that trip because I felt very much like the new kid on the block. I didn't really know anyone going into the trip, and I came out of that with some really strong relationships with some people from that. I'd say getting to do author interviews, like when I got to interview QB Tyler, that Jess interviewed QB Tyler on her channel, and Jess asked if I wanted to join in and help interview her, and that was like amazing because I love QB so much. And I also got to interview Anna Huang, which was like super cool because obviously I love her. So I'd say that's some really cool stuff. Some things coming up this summer, like getting to go to Book Bonanza. I'm really excited about that. That's my first signing that I get to go to. Got to go on a trip, like not even a book related trip, but just a trip with some of my best friends that I've met here on BookTube together to Disney. And like that was fun. So genuinely, I'd say just like some of that cool stuff that I would have never have gotten to do, like the interviews and like the trips with people because of like the relationships that I've formed, are just some of like the best experiences that I've had. Also, how could I forget when we were talking about Out of Bounds by Lucia Franco, the release of that, me, Caitlin, and Cheyenne, and then Lucia popped up on our live. Genuinely such a peak moment of happiness for me seeing her, and just loved getting to chat with her for a little bit. What inspired you to start a booktube channel? I have talked about this a little bit in the past, but I wanted to like kind of shine up on my editing skills. So I made a Throne of Glass reading vlog, and I also just kind of wanted to like catalog it for my own enjoyment. And one of my friends who had been like begging me to read this series for so long, I kind of wanted to make it for her as well. And I didn't really think anything of it. I just wanted to kind of like give a shot at editing a YouTube video and see how that went. And it kind of like snowballed from there. And then I started like having other video ideas that I wanted to try. And then just once I started, like I watched BookTube, and then I started having like my own ideas of things that I wanted to do. And it also just gave me something to do during the pandemic. Once again, when I was reading so much, I didn't really have anyone to talk to about these books because no one else was reading in my life that I could talk to them about these books. So I just wanted someone to talk to about them. And I was like, well, why don't I just start talking to myself about them on YouTube? And that's what I did. And I'm very happy that I made that leap and did it, because now my life is very different because of it, and has brought me a lot of great things. If you could change one thing about Rhea and Kova's plot, what would it be? So this is a question that I've genuinely been trying to think about since I pulled together this list. And honestly, I don't know. And that sounds like such a cop-out, but truly, I don't know what I would change about their story. I mean, maybe that she wouldn't take so much Plan B. Like, there's nothing. I regard that series, y'all know, it's just my favorite romance series of all time. And I genuinely don't know how Lucia could have made it any more amazing or satisfying in the end. That every single thing that they went through was worth it. And I don't think that I could say anything that I think should have been done or could have been done, or like that I would have wanted taken out. Everything just worked for me for that series. So it's kind of a cop-out, but honestly, I don't think I would change anything. How do you budget your book spending? I can't stop buying books, send help. Yeah, same. So here's the thing. My parents have raised me to be pretty like money conscious and just being aware of my finances. So I don't shop a lot. Like, I don't ever really buy new clothes. I don't just like buy a lot of stuff. I like to save a lot, and I really like to have like a financial security blanket. So I don't ever just find myself just kind of spending to spend money. And specifically with books, I remember like even when I started buying books, I still was like very careful about how many I bought. Like I would buy like one every like paycheck, you know? And even now still, like I definitely buy more books, but even when like I read and love a book, I don't typically go out and buy it right away, you know? There's often a lot of times that I wait a little bit, and like whenever I feel like buying a book, that I'm like, you know what, I'll buy that one that I've really been wanting to. The thing that has been getting me recently is special editions. It truly, that's where I'm starting to kind of feel like I'm a little bit out of hand, and I'm really trying to rein it in, because I pretty much only buy books that I love. I don't ever buy books that I have never read before, unless if they don't happen to be on KU, and that is like very, very few circumstances that I ever buy books that I haven't read and know that I already love. And with special editions, I feel FOMO. So when I see people getting them, then it's like, well, I want that special edition. However, I've really tried to rein it in a little bit and only buying special editions from my favorite authors that like I really want to have. Mystic Book Box is the only book box that I'm subscribed to, and I don't have any plans to like getting like a reoccurring subscription to another one. But there are book boxes that are doing like one-off boxes that I do find myself buying, like the Cover to Cover Salacious Players Club. I was not going to buy those, and then Caitlin had shared like last call for these, and then I'm like, screw it, I'm buying them, because it gets me when it's like these will never be reprinted, or you know, like books from my favorite authors. So like The Bittersweet Duet by QB Tyler recently got a special edition, I had to buy that. The Birthday Girl special edition, I had to buy that. Tri-Six Venom got a special edition, I had to buy that. So it's more the special editions that get me, and then I kind of have issues with just clicking buy now and worry about later. Get over a rough patch. I don't know if this is in terms of like rough patches in reading or rough patches in life. So I guess I'll kind of talk about both quick. So rough patch in reading, like a reading slump, you just got to keep powering through. You got to keep picking up books. If you stop reading, it's going to be really hard to get back into it. So just keep picking up books and keep reading and pushing through. And eventually you're going to find another one that works for you, and you're going to get back like in the upward swing of things. But it is hard to like push through those when you're just like not feeling anything that you're picking up. And sometimes I find rereading a book really helps, rereading a favorite, to kind of like get that like juice flowing again in your head for it. So I would do that. Rough patch in life. Honestly, I don't know. I don't really get into like things too personally on here, but I have definitely struggled with my mental health a lot. So I'd say I maybe have different, like everyone has varying levels of rough patches. I guess for me, I've been on medication since I was 12 or 13. So I'd say that kind of always has kept me at least at like a pretty consistent level. But I guess just knowing that you've already survived all of your rough days, so you can survive this one. But I don't know, that's not like a great answer, but also I don't know how to like, I don't know. I don't want to like get into it. I'm having a good day, so I'm sorry. That's kind of a bad answer, but has romance made your expectation of men higher? No. I don't think that respect and satisfiement in certain areas are high expectations.
Well, look at my dumbass creating a new word. I definitely meant satisfaction. I don't think satisfiement is a word, so sorry.
What trope you'd want to die that you just don't like anymore? Third act breakups. Is that a trope? That's not really a trope, so no. I really don't like Secret Baby, but other people love it, so I don't want it to die. Everyone can enjoy what they want to enjoy. If you want to enjoy Secret Baby, go for it, but me personally, I don't want Secret Baby anywhere near me. Favorite videos to do? My favorite videos to do, probably I like doing TBRs because they're pretty like low maintenance. I like doing those. I like doing like random ones that kind of pop up of like books I thought I would hate but ended up loving, or books I thought I would love and ended up hating. Tier ranking videos are fun. Those are a bitch to edit, but they're fun to do. Some of those like specialty type ones, I like doing those. I love talking about like books I've been loving recently, or author guides. I really like doing those. And I know this didn't say like least favorite videos to do, but by far are monthly wrap-ups. I do not like doing monthly wrap-ups because sometimes there's just so many books to talk about, and some of them I just don't care to talk about And it's a lot to like, I feel like, give your opinion and try to give like a good synopsis of the book. I mean, that's not asking a lot, but I feel like for me, when I'm doing that sometimes for like 18 books in a video, I just like run out of steam really quickly with those. Okay, last two questions. Which character do you relate to most and why? I almost feel like it's kind of fun to do like, I'll leave it up to your imagination of why I maybe connect with them. So I'd say maybe like Cassian from the ACOTAR series, Aaron Warner from the Shatter Me series, Zaph from Take a Hint, Danny Brown, Danny from Sweet Dandelion by Macaulay Smeltzer. I'd say like those four kind of off the top of my head. I'm sure if I like would have thought about this ahead of time, like looked through my list, I'd find more, but I'd say definitely like some of those I connect to because of their like mental struggles. I connect with some of them just because of like personality things, and like maybe some of their insecurities. I'd say maybe those. And the last question is biggest takeaway from being in this community. I feel like for myself, I've really lost and shed any sense of shame that I used to have. Not that I ever like felt like, oh my gosh, I'm doing something like secretive, but I feel like especially in my personal life, I used to never really tell people like what I would read. Now, I don't really care. Unless if it's like in a work setting where it's like, I'm not going to tell them about the step sibling romance I'm reading when I go home. I pretty much like have no shame in telling people what I'm reading, like my friends what I'm reading, like I don't care. So I'd say that has been like a big takeaway, and just seeing like how vast the love is for the romance community, because it was something that I didn't even know existed for so long. And now that I do, I find a lot of comfort in that, and seeing that other people find comfort and joy in the same things that I do, and kind of feeling validated in that. And also truly the biggest thing is the friendships that I've made in this community. Truly, some of the people that I've met in this community I talk to every single day and have become friends beyond books, and I talk to about personal life things. They're just people now truly that transcend beyond just being like book friends. They're people that genuinely have made a difference in my life for me personally, and that I love just as such a friend and not just like a book friend. I don't think I would have expected that when I first joined, so I'd say that's something that I am very, very grateful for. And you know what, I guess if you're at the end here, then you get to hear a little sneak peek of something. I mean, I'm not really gonna fully say what it is, but if you're at the end here, I want to give you something a little special. So the other takeaway that I've gotten from the romance community is that I never expected to be a like book reviewer, a quote unquote book reviewer. And as much as I love doing that, I have always had a passion for something else in the book community, and maybe a different take. Instead of being a reader, being in a different role in this space. And it's something that I've been working on basically since I was in college. But certain things have definitely shifted since I've discovered the romance genre, and you know, things have shifted in my brain that I am putting down and will be shared hopefully by the end of the year. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna tease you enough with it. I feel like you can probably assume what I'm doing. Something that I'm very excited about and has been a goal for me since I was a child. And it's just now that being in the romance community, it's definitely shifted, you know, what kind of content I may bring forth. So I'm gonna leave it at that because things are still getting ironed out. But because I know some people have also been asking if I'd ever do a Patreon, and I just don't feel like I have the time to dedicate to that right now because of this other project that I love way more than I would doing a Patreon. Like, I am really passionate about this project that I'm doing and really, really excited about it, and this new kind of step to take in this community and this new role to take on, that I don't think I just don't have time for a Patreon right now. Not saying never, but for right now, my other project I'm way more excited about, and I think hopefully you guys will be way more excited about it instead, if you know what I mean. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much to everyone who has been here and supported my channel, and I will see you when I see ya.